what have you kind of seen going against that through the spring? And how do they kind of compare to last year's conference season?
So the air raid, I mean, I don't know about softer. They run different type of run schemes than most teams in the country. They run a lot of counter and power. It's a lot more gap scheme stuff. So that's a little different, especially in the spring. They didn't really have a lot of tight end depth, so there's a lot of two-back sets, and that's a little different than you get usually. And obviously in the Big Ten, it's more, especially the Big Ten West, more hard-nosed, more I formation types of pro-style offenses. So definitely different, but it's nothing I can't adjust to. I've seen almost every type of offense in my years of playing. So yeah, it's cool going against these guys in practice. It's definitely not soft.
I mean, how would you compare against Michigan last year? Obviously, they made the playoffs. So, like, how close is that offensive line? How close is that offense to what you saw last year?
They're pretty stout up front. The O-line, our O-line's it's a pretty good unit. Michigan, obviously, different style, like I said, more pro style, more play action, zone blocking. But yeah, they're pretty close to that. I mean, the explosiveness of this offense is definitely way more than Michigan's offense, I would say. Just that big play factor. But definitely just different styles of offense. It's kind of hard to compare. But they're talent-wise, they're right there with them.
So you don't anticipate any issues next year when they move to the Big Ten? I mean, you guys were pretty wide open there.
Yeah, for sure. No, I don't foresee any issues. I think they're be competitive in any conference they go to. So, especially Coach Riley leading the ship and the staff they have here in place, and they know limits on the Big Ten what they can do in that conference.
Check out Big Ten media days at all last couple of days? Or?
I saw a couple things on my timeline and whatnot, but no, I didn't really read too much into it. Kind of focus on the Pac-12 now.
How's the adjustment been going from a town like Lafayette, Louisiana to Los Angeles, California?
It hasn't been too bad. I'm from near Chicago, so it's kind of similar to me. It's a big city. It's just you learn to stay in your own lane and kind of just do whatever you want to do, but just don't get in trouble doing different things. So kind of just do whatever you want and go and get some food and going back and hanging out. But nothing big adjustment wise. I'm here for a job and here to compete and win a championship. So there's nothing that can really distract me from that.
I was talking to Solo a few minutes ago, and he was saying you guys lift together. Mm-hmm. Talk about Solo and what he brings to the table and how you guys work with each other.
Solo's a great guy. Coming in here, he was one of my first friends on the team, so our bond's pretty tight right now. He's an intense dude. He's about his work. When he gets on the field, he kind of flips a switch and becomes a different animal. So I'm excited to go out there and play with him this year, and it's going to be fun. I think we're going to do a lot of special things.
Are you guys like an opposites attract type of thing, or similar personalities, or?
I don't know about opposites attract. I think he was a nice guy in the first couple of days I got here, and we kind of just clicked. We became pretty close after I came here. Coming to a new team is just different. I've been in the same spot for 5 years, so coming to a different locker room and all new faces and everything, it was challenging for the first couple of weeks. I didn't really feel at home, but after some of the guys opened up their arms and I got in with them, it's really cool and special. So.
And I'm sure you've been asked this before, but like I said, you were at Purdue for 5 years. What makes you say, you know what, I'm going to leave this situation, it's a great situation, I'm going to LA for a year?
Well, it was kind of just the best opportunity for me to get a spotlight to the NFL, if I'm being honest. And Coach Newell, like I said, he's a pretty special dude. The way he develops players and his track record speaks for itself. So I thought that was the best opportunity I had to become the best version of myself.
Were there other schools you were considering besides Coach Newell?
I had a lot of. The transfer portal it's crazy. I got in there. I was kind of teetering whether just going for the draft or coming back for another year, and I just threw my name in the portal just to see what happened. And, a ton of schools. I had Alabama's and TCU, and I had a bunch of different schools. But this is the best opportunity for me. Once I got here, I was done looking. This is the best spot for me.
So when you get that kind of feedback, does it say, you know what, well, maybe I should consider the NFL now? If you see all that kind of interest from
I think it did kind of the opposite for me. I kind of wanted to come back and really prove myself at a big stage like this, and that way that would look better for the NFL and really just boost my draft stock. I had a good year last year at Purdue. I think there's just a lot of stuff I can clean up and polish up this year and put on film. So that's really my goal, is just to be the best and clean up all those little things on film that Coach New has pointed out to me. So it's going to be fun with that process and with that work ethic I have. So I'm just looking forward to getting out there and playing.
And then just so the USC fans can get to know you, what's something about you that maybe they should get to know that maybe they don't know about you right now?
So at Purdue, I studied aviation, so I'm a pilot. So I like to fly planes. That's going to be my goal after I'm done playing football, is to go on and be a captain for an airline. So that is definitely something I'm passionate about, and something I like to do outside of football.
Did you get a chance to talk to Alex Stadhouse about that before you graduated?
No, I've heard plenty of things about him, and I'm looking forward to talking with him. I need to get his number and track him down and say what's up. But yeah, I heard he's doing well now. He's got all his certifications, and he's going on. I think it was United or American is working with one of those airlines. So yeah, pretty impressive. I'm looking to do the same thing after I'm done too.
Awesome.
What do they have you playing on the D line? Are you inside, outside, or all the above?
Right now, I'm starting out inside. I think the plan is to move me outside some too, and I can play pretty much everything. So I think that versatility is key, and I'm open to playing wherever the team needs me.
Where do you want to see yourself kind of grow throughout the fall camp before the season starts?
I just want to finish plays, just finish blocks, or not finish blocks, finish getting off blocks and getting after people, a little more nasty and physical, playing on my footwork, just things like that. I just want to see on film, help me into the season, feeling confident, really just getting out there every day and just pushing myself with that effort every play.
Do you feel more comfortable inside or outside? Or?
It doesn't really change for me, honestly. I kind of take that same approach. When I've been outside, I played mostly outside the last couple seasons. I kind of just take that same approach. It just happens a little bit quicker inside. So it's just noting that before you play, and when you're inside versus when you're outside, noting the differences there, and then just turn it on. It's the same in the ball hikes. So.
You've been through the grind for a long time. What do you convey to younger guys like Anthony and Bear that have played a little, but they're being counted on for big roles and haven't done it yet?
I think those guys already have a pretty good understanding of what it takes at this level. Obviously, coming from big programs, I think they're ready. Just that consistency every day, bringing that same work ethic to practice every day, not having an off day, not having an up day, kind of just staying level and being the same guy every day. It's the most important.
Do you see it as part of your role and maybe Keon's as well to lead those guys, to be, because of your guys' experience, to be the ones to kind of teach them up a little bit?
For sure. Whenever they have questions or whenever we're out there on the field working, we try to lead and set by example. Those guys, they're pretty good. They don't really need a lot of leadership. They're pretty self-motivated. So it's nice when you have guys like that that are ready to compete, ready to go out there and just display what they're all about on the field.
Coach Newitt talked about the difference between guys who like the game and guys who love the game. What is your test, or what are the things you're looking for from teammates where you can tell the difference?
Like I noted, it's just like being on the field. If you really want to be there, it's going to be pretty apparent when you turn on the film, and just the energy you bring out there every day to practice. Sometimes if guys it's been like that 4th or 5th day in a row, they're sluggish a little bit. You guys got to kind of count on each other to bring each other along and really turn that energy up a little bit. So just things like that, bringing the energy, right attitude out to practice, and really just grinding on there on the field every day, and day in, day out.
How hard is it to be that consistent with that kind of energy?
Oh, it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
You kind of just got to hype yourself up a little bit and just get after it every day. There's no real choice, so you kind of got to do it, or it's not going to be a good day. Just to be honest with you.
Does it help to have consistent guys like you and Lincoln around, sort of set that everyday bar?
Yeah, I think with the staff here and the players we have and the support staff we have, it's just that you kind of trust the plan they put in place, and you can go out there and just kind of work and not worry about anything else. So you don't really have to worry about why are we doing this, why are we doing that. You kind of just trust these guys; they know what they're doing. You just go out there and bring the best you have every day, and you'll be all right.
Thanks, Jack.
Does Lincoln strike you as a particularly consistent fella?
Definitely. I mean, his whole aura is pretty consistent.
Yeah.
He brings the same energy every day to the building, and he's, whenever you see him, he's got a smile on his face. He's a pretty level-headed dude, and just very consistent in the way he works, and he's just a pretty big grinder out in this facility. So he sets the tone for the rest of us. That's for sure.
What's the hardest thing or the worst thing about playing in really cold weather?
The cold. The wind kind of sucks when it's that cold. You know, the wind starts blowing, and you kind of never really get warm until you're out of the game in the shower. So just like that consistent feeling of I'm cold. It can kind of wear on you a little bit. So stuff like that. That's probably gonna be the biggest adjustment for USC going to the Big Ten is these cold games. But you probably get them when you go up to Washington or Oregon late in the year. So I mean, they'll be fine.
Well, what's the one game you remember from Purdue that oh, this was the absolute worst?
When you go to Minnesota and it's a night game in October or November, that's pretty bad. Yeah, that's the worst game I remember. Just going out to Minnesota every year. This last year we got pretty lucky. Played them early October. I was like, yes. The schedule came out. I was like, it's not going to be cold as hell. I'm going to get up there. So that was exciting.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.